All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
I'll kick us off.
Okay.
Football plan.
Wait, let me take a piss real quick. I gotta take a piss.
All right, yeah, do anything that you need to do before we start recording. Do it now.
Please, before the movie, would you please take care of anything you need?
You silence yourself.
Don't forget to silence your cell phone.
Well, you got a flag down.
Oofside.
Everyone but the center. Offense.
Welcome to the very first episode of Oofsides. I don't know how to do this intro, so I'm just gonna kick it off. I'm your host, your resident Cowboys fan, Matthew Steelman. We got our resident fucking Jaguars fan, Garrett. That's your cue. All right, sick. We got our Vikings fan, Jesse,
So,
and our resident Bills Mafia member, Jack Healy.
Go Bills.
All right. This is the worst fucking start to a podcast anybody's
Absolutely.
ever had.
honestly,
It is almost motherfucking football season, everybody.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Isn't it a week away, right?
I think it's kickoff
Wait,
is
it's
on the
2
10th.
weeks.
Yeah, so we got a week and a half. So so
Man.
it's been a fucking wild off season. There's
Yeah.
some stuff has happened
Yeah.
as we've seen.
tough, yeah.
So we are coming to you live from quarantine. In theory, there will be football in about a week and a half, but
Yeah, no,
We'll see how that
COVID's going to
goes.
have a massive upswing, and there will be millions and millions.
especially
And yeah,
just to jump right into things, the fact that
Every-
fucking Jerry Jones is already like, oh no, we're gonna have
oh
fans."
yeah,
It's like,
good job. Of course, I knew it'd be
Of all
like the
the- of all
Cowboys
the-
who do it.
Oh yeah, same.
Well,
Like,
Of all the teams to do it, the Cowboys is not
oh
tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be like,
So-
yeah. I couldn't think of another team that'd do it. Maybe like the Giants, but I don't think the Giants are dumb enough.
I was thinking with the
I-
Buccaneers, but they don't have fans.
I was gonna say, yeah, actually that's a good one. I was gonna say
Yeah.
probably the Jets
The Jets,
because the Jets
But
had a
you're-
quarterback catch mono last year.
yeah, but you're implying that there's that many Jets fans who actively want to show up.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is true.
they all kind of hate themselves, I think.
Actually, now that we think about it, it's probably Cleveland.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely Cleveland.
So-
Maybe.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're heading into a new season of football. We're gonna put all the dumb bullshit that's happened in the world recently in the back mirror, and we're gonna watch some people fuck each other up for money.
Yay. CTE.
Yep. The thing I am looking forward to the most about this season, though, is the bigger playoff field.
I didn't even read that, honestly.
So
Honestly, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
yeah, so basically to jump into it, excuse me. There's now 7 teams from each conference going into playoffs, so there's a third wild card. Only one team gets a first round bye, and then next
Oh.
season is they're expanding the regular season to 17 games.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
For example, last year the Steelers would have made the playoffs under that format, and it actually kind of freaked me out when we did our playoff predictor stuff because it ended up giving me 3 wild cards, and I was like, doesn't that come in until next year? And it doesn't, and I was just wrong and stupid. So
True.
anyway, that's the big major rule change of the season. There's also the pass interference review rule is now gone, which a lot of people believe that basically the officials just refuse to overturn anything to sabotage that rule to begin with. So
Yeah.
kind of a predictable failure on that. Now, Jesse, you are a noted hater of the Saints, the main team that pushed through that rule change. Do you have any strong opinions on this?
Same. That's my opinion.
Well put.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is there
then
any
pretty
other
much
rule changes?
the only other real rule change they made was so last year when you had Bill Belichick kept committing like multiple dead ball fouls in a row to
Oh,
just run
yes.
time off the clock, and then the Titans
that
did
was
it to him
great.
back. So they patched up that that loophole in the rule book, so you can't do that anymore.
Oh, that's
So.
sad.
That was
That's-
the best bit of like delicious irony is when the Titans used that against Belichick in the playoffs.
Belichick was fucking pissed, and it was the funniest.
I think
shit
also
ever.
I missed my
Oh my
introduction.
lord!
But the funny thing
Yeah,
about that too
obviously.
is that the Patriots turned around and gave themselves a neutral zone infraction right after both those two.
Yep.
So you had a third penalty that allowed time to be drawn out. So it was quite humorous.
Yeah, good times.
Very good.
So, yep. So here's to hoping that officials are held more accountable for their dumb calls that they make. But
They aren't.
I really doubt it.
No.
Officials in sports, there's no consistency
No.
there.
True.
To get on a quick tangent, and Jack knows what I'm talking about, is like the NHL playoffs are fucking awesome, but the officiating is so bad at times.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
let's get into the other big thing of the offseason is we had a ridiculous quarterback carousel this season.
Yeah. We
Oh,
did.
absolutely.
It was a little wild. A little crazy.
You kind of had at one point you had a three-way triangle of like teams like giving each other quarterbacks like with different signings and stuff. You had you had Bridgewater go over from the backup of the Saints to taking a full-time quarterback job for the Panthers this season, which will be interesting to see.
I'm hoping he does well. I'm really hoping it.
Oh yeah,
I'm hoping so too.
Man.
Although he's kind of on the hot seat because this is all determines if this is what they roll with or not. So
yeah. The only downside to that is the Panthers are kind of like a directionless ship right now since Cam Newton is now gone from that team. So who knows how good the team around Teddy's gonna be.
Yeah.
So, I hope he's successful though, because Teddy Bridgewater's a fucking awesome dude.
Yeah,
I love Teddy. He's great. As a Vikings fan, he's one of the more good young players.
Yeah. The NFC South did a lot of quarterback trading this season because we had Teddy Bridgewater go from the Saints to the Panthers, and now we have Jameis Winston getting released from the Buccaneers, and he's now backing up in New Orleans. So, which now I'm hoping that we get to see him throw a pick six against the Buccaneers. So
that would be poetic.
I bet you Jameis Winston, by the end of his career, will have thrown a pick six to every single team in the league.
Oh, I hope he goes for more 30-30 seasons.
30 for 30.
Dude, no, he's going to go for 40-40.
Oh,
like he's
no,
going to just
50
crank it
for
up.
50.
Yeah. He's going to look at what Mahomes did a couple seasons ago where he hit 50 touchdowns, and he was like, dude, I can top that shit. Watch this.
Yeah, he's going to throw like 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions per game type stuff.
My mind is boggled by fucking 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Like, god damn. That is insane.
Not to mention that the season literally ended on the 30th interception being an overtime game-losing pick six.
God,
wasn't that against the Falcons?
Yep. So Jameis Winston's first career pass attempts, or first and last pass attempts as a Buccaneer, were both pick sixes.
Oh my! All right,
imitates life.
True.
Other notable quarterback moves. The Jaguars got out of a bad deal that they made, although I was one of the people parading it as a good deal, by trading the man, the myth, the legend, Big Dick Nick Foles to the Bears.
Yeah, that was. I knew that contract was absolutely awful from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, and the Jaguars have had 2 back-to-back contracts with quarterbacks where they've had something go wrong. They signed an extension with Bortles a couple years ago. That fell through in half a season. And Foles fell through in week 1. I mean,
the Bortles one was especially crazy because they signed him to this big extension and then literally like let all of their receiving talent go. So it was just like him and fucking Leonard Fournette, and just
they let Robinson go to the Bears through that whole thing.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's a pretty Bears move because the Bears have, outside of maybe the Browns, like the worst quarterback. Actually, no, the Jets are probably up there too. But they have like the worst quarterback history in the NFL. Like more terrible quarterbacks have played for the Bears than probably just about anybody else. Well, and I don't think Nick Foles is terrible, but like, that is such a Bears move.
Yeah, Nick Foles isn't a terrible quarterback, but he's not like Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I think Nick Foles he'll do good with the team.
He'll do good. He'll do better than Trubisky, that's for sure. I mean, anyone can do better than him.
I think he'll carry the Bears maybe an 8-8 season.
Yeah.
That depends
say
on
so.
if he ends up starting, because the Bears invested so much in Trubisky.
I
I
don't think
want to
they
go on a
can
quick
trust
tangent here. The fact the Bears drafting Mitch Trubisky is so hilarious to me, and nobody ever mentions this. So everybody always goes, "Oh yeah, they traded up to get him." Nobody ever mentions that they pointlessly traded up to get him.
Yeah.
Because the 49ers were drafting second, and the 49ers were not going to take Trubisky.
Yeah.
They didn't want a quarterback because
Did they have
they didn't
Jimmy
have
G?
Garoppolo. They got Garoppolo at the
yeah.
end of that season. But they
shit.
were building defensively because all of their defensive talent left over the offseason. And so the Bears, who were in third, would have literally gotten Trubisky, gave up like 3 or 4 picks to the 49ers to move up one spot to draft the guy they could have already gotten.
Oh, the Bears are so stupid. I love it. It is insane.
So, good times.
Yeah, and I think we probably continue the quarterback carousel part with probably the biggest quarterback change is Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I was kind of building up to that because I was going to make a joke and be like, "Oh, yeah, some old guy fucking went to Tampa or whatever."
yeah.
But yeah, that is a move that I don't think any of us ever thought we were going to see in our lifetime. Is just like the winningest quarterback of all time leaving. So
To fucking Tampa Bay though.
yeah,
Out of all the teams, fucking Tampa Bay.
yeah. Well,
They-
I mean,
What?
people when they retire, they go to Florida. So
That's
he's
a good
just
point. When they get
he's
old,
just-
considering considering that whole team is just talents from 2015, it's going to be interesting to see.
yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're going to have that good of a record. Maybe over 500, like a 9-6.
I feel like they could have a really hit or miss season.
I don't know. Words.
Based on because last season with the Patriots, Brady was carried by the defense most of the games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, has he done a lot of things in his career? Yes, but now he's coming to the end of the road, and we're going to see if he can hold up with a stellar receiving core down in Tampa.
Yeah, that's the thing that's hardest to read about that, because outside of Jameis Winston, that Tampa team was stacked, like with talent last year. So it's like you imagine just having a quarterback that doesn't give up the ball 30 times a season, how much that's going to change their fortunes. Like they easily could have gone 11-5 if Winston wasn't giving up the ball 2 or 3 times a game.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't know.
Some other notable moves, obviously another future Hall of Famer, Phillip Rivers, leaving the Chargers after, what, about 13 years? No, 16 years, actually. Wow, I was off by a few. Going to the Colts. I think that's a pretty good move.
It's so weird.
Smart move. I'd say it's a pretty smart move, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be weird to see Rivers in a different uniform, but I think him going to the Colts is best case scenario.
Yeah. Unless the Colts ruin him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be. He'll have maybe 1 or 2 seasons over there before he retires, but I think he can get some stuff done.
Yeah, the Colts, since Andrew Luck retired, like that was a team that's built to win right now, and literally all they're missing is a quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think bringing in a guy who's proven like that, bringing him for a couple seasons, I think it's a good deal. So I'm excited to see that. And I mean, Phillip Rivers is like one of the best quarterbacks to never make it to a Super Bowl. So
true.
We'll see if they can change that.
Right there. And I think it doesn't quite hurt the Chargers because they drafted a pretty good quarterback with Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
That's right. Shit, we need to talk about the draft.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about the draft. That's so fucking long ago. I've already forgotten about it.
Yeah.
To wrap up though, the quarterback carousel. There's 2 other ones that I wanted to mention. Andy Dalton finally freed from the Bengals. Is now going to back up in Dallas. And as somebody who used to be a really diehard Bengals fan, they were like my number 2 team. I like that move. I've always liked Andy Dalton. I don't know if I think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he is the baseline for a quarterback. Like Andy Dalton, he is exactly average. He is a perfectly balanced quarterback.
That is very accurate.
Yeah.
Very true.
The term they use a lot on NFL Network is the Dalton line, which is basically like wherever Andy Dalton is on stats, if you're above him, you're good, and if you're below him, you're bad. So now we'll finally see, hey, is Dak Prescott good or not? So
yeah.
And then finally, I've actually been saving this one for a day or two. Joe Flacco in the offseason joins the New York Jets.
Oh, baby.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about
Wait a
that
minute.
one.
Wait a
We got a
minute.
lot of interesting quarterbacks that have been going to the second string over the
Oh, wait,
last
we
couple
haven't
weeks.
even. Have we talked
Wait.
about Cam Newton to the
Yeah, no,
Patriots?
Cam Newton.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
We haven't even. Man, we talked about Joe
How did we
Flacco
miss
before
like
Cam
one of the
freaking Newton.
biggest ones? What the fuck?
Yeah,
You
and
mentioned
that one,
Cam Newton, but you didn't even mention where he's going.
yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking forgot. I'm looking at my spreadsheet and I have it like cropped so I can only see the AFC teams right now. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about Cam Newton.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then probably the biggest or second biggest move is Cam Newton to the goddamn New England Patriots. And
Yeah.
when I mention this, I also want to mention that when we do our playoff predictor stuff later in the show, all of us made our predictions before that move happened. So give or take a few wins.
Not very pretty.
Oh yeah.
I thought about redoing mine, but I was like, fuck it.
I'm
going
sticking.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So-
thinking with it.
If you
I'll
Fine.
take
change
that one
it,
for
you're
you. And
pussy.
it'll be funnier to see how wrong it is at the end of the
Oh
season.
yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I almost forgot another one. Case Keenum joined the Browns as a backup.
Oh yeah.
So-
And Mariota joined the Raiders.
Yep, Mariota to the Raiders.
Oh,
Oh,
geez, yeah.
I also forgot another quarterback carousel thing just to make Garrett more upset. The Jaguars' backup quarterback is now Mike Glennon.
Oh, Mike Glennon. Oh baby.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. I'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but
Yeah. Mike Glennon is one of the most bizarre quarterbacks I've ever seen. Not just because of the way he looks, but
Yeah, that's true.
it's
got
so
that
weird because when he used to play for the Bucks in his like first 2 seasons, he would have games where he would just ball the fuck out, and everybody would be like, "Oh damn, Mike Glennon, he's kind of good." And then he'd have games like last season when the Raiders played the Jets where he fumbles 2 of his first 3 snaps. Like it's just so like there's some major breakdown in communication between his brain and his body on how to play football.
Yeah. Mike
sometimes.
Glennon looks like a pencil.
He's like that gif of when Drew Brees gets hit and his neck stretches out.
Yeah.
He's like that,
Yeah,
but
that
all
too.
the time.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna highlight some of the other things that we haven't gotten to quarterback wise. Ryan Tannehill got signed to a 4-year extension with the Titans after his outstanding performance last season. Kyle Allen, who was taking over for the Panthers last season, got traded to the Washington football team, which we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, that pretty much covers all the rest of the quarterback situation.
Yep.
Right.
If we want to alley-oop this into just general free agency stuff, I actually wrote down some really interesting ones.
Mhm.
Starting with, alphabetically, the Arizona Cardinals getting the better end of one of the most bizarre trades we've ever seen. When Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins, quite possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, and a 4th-round pick for running back David Johnson and a 2nd-round pick.
I forgot. That was an awful deal.
That is the most atrocious thing. That's
you
the most
just-
atrocious trade I've heard
You
in so long.
for
Like,
for-
holy fuck.
a somewhat washed up running back, you just gave the best receiver in the league, the Kyler Murray.
For a running back that hasn't been healthy in 2 years and hasn't had a good year really since 2016.
Yeah.
I just want to. I know
Oh.
how much we're talking crap about the Texans on this deal, but man, for the Cardinals to get this deal to work out and get him,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we got the young quarterback Kyler Murray now, and with him in his 2nd year, he could have a chance to explode,
Murray-
especially with Hopkins now on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Murray was
The
good
Cardinals
last year,
definitely
too.
turned off the realistic trade option in Madden.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Dude.
it was.
Imagine being Kyler Murray. You're a 2nd-year quarterback, and you have fucking Larry Fitzgerald on one side, aka doesn't he? He has what, more passes or more tackles than like dropped passes in his career,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. And then he's
Yeah.
got the other probably most talented receiver in this era of DeAndre Hopkins on the other side.
Just
Like that
shoot.
offense is going to be fucking insane this year.
Oh yeah.
I think even their defense is pretty fucking good too.
Yeah.
That team's gonna be pretty
They're going
fucking.
to be a dark horse, but I mean,
I-
Oh yeah.
I think they'll get something like 9 wins.
Yeah.
maybe 10.
I mean, they're in a rough division, but they can definitely snag
Oh,
a
yeah.
wild card spot.
Yeah, the NFC West is going to be stacked this season.
Oh yeah, and then you got the Rams.
Which is it's honestly funny that you bring them up because when I was writing down a bunch of free agency notes, I have nothing on the Rams.
Yeah,
Literally all they picked up was
yeah.
like offensive linemen. So
Yeah,
which is
and
probably their
that's not-
biggest need. But
Yeah.
Other notable moves: the Falcons signed Todd Gurley to a 1-year deal to replace.
Nice.
I've already forgotten the dude he's replacing.
Was it Ito Smith? Or was it
Oh my God, what was the name of the running back for the Falcons?
Was it
Devin
Devonta Freeman or something?
Devon-
I don't know.
Was it Freeman?
I honestly can't tell you because I
Either
haven't
Freeman
paid
or
attention to
Tillman.
Matthew, put it up on screen. I can't remember what it is.
don't-
Anyway, I'll remember it
I
later.
don't watch the fucking Falcons. The fuck.
Yeah. Other deals. This is a deal I really liked. That was a steal. The Ravens traded for Calais Campbell. So
Yeah, another highlight of the Jaguars trading away one of their better defensive players for what was it again? What round draft pick?
they traded him
For a fourth?
for
round?
for a 5th round.
Oh, 5th round. So it's not even as good as I thought it
For
was.
the
So-
heart and soul of that defense.
A Pro Bowler.
Yep.
From last year. The
Calais
only
Campbell. I wouldn't have fucking given up anything less than a third or a second, dude.
I mean,
What?
was it
Even if it's not that great, the locker room presence of Calais Campbell is worth it.
Yeah, he made that defense what it was, and I mean, when you had Ramsey there too, and a bunch of other guys
Yeah.
over the last couple of years,
it was yesterday? Jags just traded away someone to the Vikings.
oh yeah, and that's another off-season trade that has gone on here for draft picks as well. They traded away Unique Ngakwe to the
Yannick
Vikings.
Ngakoue. Yep.
Yeah.
Forgot about
That's
that one.
also they've been struggling with them, and they franchise tagged him, but he didn't want to be on the team anymore. So Ngakwe fired his agent, hired a new one, and now the Jaguars saw that he didn't come to training camp, so they offered him up for trade, and that's what happened. So
Garrett, all I just want to say is I'm sorry for you.
yeah, it's gonna be a rough year for this team. The
Yeah,
Jaguars,
brutal.
that is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a rough. couple
I've
years,
never
I'd say.
seen a team come unglued at the seams that fast, dude.
It
It bummed me out because I liked that 2017 Jaguars team.
Oh, they were such a.
I could not say the same because
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
they did beat the
we
Bills.
have Bills Blake fucking Bortles.
But that's the best part
Why?
about it. Is you got outran by Blake Bortles. 'cause
Shut
that's all
the
he
fuck up.
did.
We had fucking.
All right.
Ah!
Hoes are mad here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, and another to make Jack a little happier, the Vikings gave Stephon Diggs up to the Bills.
Yep,
Yeah.
I was just about
Oh,
to
yeah.
alley-oop into that.
That was an even trade. That was a good
It was a
trade.
very
Yeah.
good deal by us because he did not want to be at the Vikings anymore. It was obvious.
Yeah.
It's a smart option, and we got a good replacement for him.
We got a first, and what else did you get?
A first, 5th, and 6th round pick in 2020, and
Yeah.
a 2021 4th round pick.
Yeah,
That's a pretty lopsided. And I mean, yeah, that's a trade I think that both teams win because Stephon Diggs, the biggest thing lacking from the Bills was a deep threat, other than
we
Josh Allen's
needed.
accuracy, but yeah.
But Josh Allen has worked on his accuracy a lot more this offseason,
Yeah.
so he's gonna be a lot better, I'd say.
Yeah,
And-
I've heard a lot of people compare him to like early John Elway
Yeah,
because and we all know what he went on to do.
and the Bills last season had basically no one. They had John Brown, and that's it for a receiver.
Yeah, and
It-
short ass white Cole Beasley.
Yeah, and they'd be just like dropping passes left and right. And
Garrett, did you have something to say?
I was just going to say that the Vikings managed to get a first round pick, and out of the 2 or 3 All-Star deals the Jags made, they got none.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they really did get a fair trade out of that. I mean,
Oh yeah.
for Diggs. So,
yeah,
The other big signing that Buffalo made was they signed Josh Norman. So
Yeah.
they got another proven cornerback to really stack that already stacked defense.
hmm
Another move that I got excited about is the Sun God, Robbie Anderson, now signed with the Panthers for a 2-year, $20 million deal. So we get to see Robbie Anderson's crazy ass hair down in the South.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, other big moves. We had the Browns picking up Austin Hooper, which is a deal I like. Even more receiving talent for that team, as well as Jack Conklin to try to fix that horrible offensive line that crippled the whole team.
Yeah. The only thing that crippled that whole team, but
yeah, well, one of the many. That was like the base thing
yeah.
of it was that Freddie Kitchens forgot he didn't have a good offensive line. He was like, let's just make fucking Baker Mayfield stand in the pocket for 3 seconds. Oh, what? He can't complete a pass because he's getting his ass rocked every play? So, the Broncos signed AJ Bouye from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Acquired in a trade. And they also picked up Melvin Gordon from the Chargers. So
Fuck yeah, Melvin Gordon.
Wow, I have Melvin Gordon. Wow.
Also, with the Bears on their offseason shenanigans that we've already talked about, they managed to pick up 2 pieces of for their offense. Ted Ginn Jr. from New Orleans on a 1-year deal, and they also picked up Jimmy Graham from the Packers for a 2-year
hey, did you guys know that Jimmy Graham plays basketball?
Bro, that's
Dude,
wild.
So when I was putting together this list, I had to write down a thing for Jimmy Graham and oh my god, I've already forgotten his name. Who was the longtime tight end for the Packers? Greg something? What was his name? Greg Olson. Yeah, I always get Greg Olson and Jimmy Graham confused. Like I think they're the same person.
Yeah. Valid.
So yeah, so we'll see more talent around Mitch Trubisky. We'll see how that goes. Let's go down further down the list here. The Lions, I only wrote these down because they got 2 of the best names in the NFL. They got wide receiver Geronimo Allison and offensive tackle Halapoulivaati Vaitai. So,
yeah.
Cool. And going off of what we were saying earlier about the DeAndre Hopkins trade, the Texans signed Randall Cobb, aka budget older DeAndre Hopkins. So
Not a bad pickup, but in replacement of Hopkins.
Yeah, anything they sign, unless you get like prime Randy Moss, is going to look like a downgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. The Raiders signed Nelson Aguilar, so that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny. Watch
funny.
John Gruden yell at him for dropping passes all the time.
Las Vegas, no.
Yep. They also got another really good name in Prince Amukamara. And for some reason, signed old-ass Jason Witten. So
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
to a 1-year, $4 million deal.
Man,
So-
Jason, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. So up until that, and I love Jason Witten. As we know, I'm a Cowboys fan, and like Jason Witten's one of my all-time favorite players, but he is fucking washed up. The Vikings saying, God, I cannot speak today. The Vikings signed Dan Bailey, get a new kicker in there, which was kind of cool.
We re-signed Bailey.
Oh, that's right. Read that wrong.
We had him last year.
I missed Dan Bailey on the Cowboys.
You can
go
have.
ahead,
I was just going to say, because this is a team we haven't talked about yet, but the Miami Dolphins picked up actually a couple of running backs here. Matt Rhea from the 49ers. They picked him up via trade. And then they got Jordan Howard as well from the Eagles on a 2-year deal. So that'll be interesting to see as their 2 running backs in their backfield.
Didn't they get Breida for like a 5th-round pick?
Yeah, for a 5th-round
Yeah,
pick.
that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Really good deal there, yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins, the Pro Bowl safety for the Eagles, has signed with the Saints for a 4-year deal. I like that move a lot. I think Malcolm Jenkins is pretty fucking awesome. Colt McCoy went to the Giants, so I think that's pretty cool. He's finally freed from Washington. I love Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is the perfect quarterback name, but that's a quarterback who needs to play in Texas.
True. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. To go along with old people on the Jets also signed Frank Gore to a 1-year deal.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Frank Gore is still alive.
Is Le'Veon Bell still there?
I think
Yeah, he
so,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how long his deal is, but he should be there for a couple years.
Yeah. Hopefully they get something out of him because listening to people complain about it, it's like, oh yeah, you have Le'Veon Bell, who's one of the most elusive running backs. Let's run him up the gut every time. Further deals, the Steelers picked up Derek Watt, TJ Watt's and JJ Watt's brother. So now they have 2 Watt brothers on the Steelers. He's a fullback. Oh, it bums me out that he's not DJ Watt, so they don't all match.
That'd be a very confusing way to give out like Christmas presents and stuff.
Yeah, DJ, JJ, and TJ.
Yeah.
I think they made a
Imagine
Subway
having DJ and
commercial about
TJ on the same team. Oh god.
There's a commercial about that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally made a Subway commercial about that. That's hilarious. I forgot about that.
Oh shit! Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Oh.
The 49ers got the disgruntled Washington offensive tackle Trent Williams for a 5th-round pick and a 2021 3rd-rounder. I wanted the Browns to get him because he's awesome.
True.
But yeah, more reinforcement for a really good offensive line last season.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting obviously the steal of free agency. Blaine Gabbert re-signing for
Oh,
1-year
yeah.
deal to
Oh,
back
yeah.
up some
Oh.
retired guy.
Mm,
Definitely the
probably
best
from the
quarterback
Jags.
acquisition of the season for the Buccaneers.
Of course.
They signed.
How do we go?
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I was about to say, how do we go this whole entire time with Brady conversation and not talk about Gronkowski and LaShawn McCoy?
Yeah. LaShawn McCoy signing a 1-year deal and Rob Gronkowski traded to the Buccaneers for a 4th-round pick. What I love most about this was when that was announced, everybody was like, oh, Gronk's going to suck. He's old and he's washed up. And I was like, are we just going to ignore the fact that Bill Belichick traded a retired player for a draft pick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Gronkowski had to drop the 24/7 title in WWE to go to the Buccaneers.
Oh. Yep, it's all about sacrifices.
Isn't he not even over 30 yet?
I don't know if he is.
I
Tell you,
don't think
man.
Gronkowski's over 30. I think
He's
like
probably like
27.
at oldest 31. He just gets hurt a lot. This is probably.
Yeah.
And then the final kind
He
of
is 31
notable-
years old.
He's what?
He is 31 years old.
Okay, so I was right on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The final kind of big name acquisition is Washington acquires Kyle Allen from the Carolina Panthers for a 5th-round pick. I think Kyle Allen's decent. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
anything special, but good backup. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's some of the important free agency moves.
Yeah.
Do we want to move into the draft? Unless you guys have anything else
Go
to
for the
say?
draft. Wait, can I
Alright.
can I take a piss real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it.
What is this out?
Didn't you pee right before the show started? Oh, he's already gone.
Yes, to answer your question, he did.
Okay.
A few moments later.
All right.
Alright.
On to the
Alright.
draft, baby.
On to this year's draft. I'm just going to go over some notable picks in the first round. The Bengals surprised nobody by taking Joe Burrow, number 1 overall.
Mhm.
Washington took Chase Young, which is a pretty good move, I feel like. And then you had Detroit taking Jeff Okuda, and then it gets off the rails a little bit here. The Giants took Andrew Thomas, who was like the 8th-ranked offensive lineman in the draft, and they took him 4th overall.
That was the most Giants thing to fucking happen.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Daniel Jones, and it kind of
I-
worked out.
Yeah,
So,
but like they could have taken Jones in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
for sure. So
I don't know what the Giants are doing. I don't even think the Giants know what they're doing,
Giants, yeah,
but I'm
they're-
okay with it.
They, Danny Dimes is gonna have a decent year, I think.
Yeah. So, 5th overall was again, to no surprise, the Miami Dolphins took Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that locked in like
Yeah,
after the last draft.
When it was leading up to it, and people were saying like, I don't know, they could take Joe Burrow, they could trade up, and I was like, the Dolphins literally explicitly said a year and a half ago, we want Tua, we're going to tank.
Yeah, that was before he got injured.
Yeah, they were always going to take Tua.
Yeah.
The Chargers took Justin Herbert, which is a polarizing move. Some
yeah.
people like Jesse think he's going to be good. Some
I
people also think he's a project.
I think it's I don't know. I'm split between them. I think he's good, but like the Oregon QB stigma is
Yeah.
there.
I
Because
think it'll take him a few years.
when
Yeah,
was the
he's
last
a project.
when was the last great Oregon QB?
I'm pretty sure it was Dan Fouts who actually played for the Chargers.
Yeah.
No, I mean he wasn't great, but Mariota.
Oh, that's right.
Right? He
Mario.
was good until his
Yeah,
injury
but-
happened a few years back.
Yeah, Fouts is definitely the last like great Oregon QB.
Yeah.
though, if I'm right about that, I'm pretty sure he is.
Mhm.
Other notable ones you have. Let's see. Tampa took Tristan Wirfs, an offensive tackle, to keep old ass Tom Brady safe.
You have my favorite draft pick from the first round, Justin Jefferson, the Vikings.
I wonder why that one's your favorite.
I would like to give my shout out to the Cowboys in their draft pick of CeeDee Lamb,
Oh
Yeah.
stacking up that wide receiver core.
Dude, Dak has all of the weapons in the world. There's no excuse for that team to underperform this year.
Oh, imagine if they missed the playoffs again.
I'm
Yeah.
ready for it.
Need
My
to
body
be-
is ready.
That team
would
has
be-
no reason to not be a first round bye.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the only thing, which I'll delve into this more later, but the only thing that concerns me about it is Mike McCarthy, because McCarthy had a history of not using his talent very well in Green Bay.
That's a good
That's-
point.
so-
He did waste Aaron Rodgers like half his career.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite potential nicknames in the first round is Denver's wide receiver Jerry Jeudy that they drafted 15th overall,
Yes.
because he can become Judge Judy. It would be better if he was like a defensive end, because then he could be like, I mean, Judge Judy would be the perfect fucking nickname for somebody who just demolishes quarterbacks.
I'll just take them all to
True,
court.
yeah.
That's some of the highlights of the first round. Actually, no, we forgot one important one. Is the Green Bay Packers taking Jordan Love, 26th overall quarterback.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Making Packers fans shake a little.
Yeah. That is probably my favorite thing. Is the two best parts of the Packers last season were their quarterback and their running game, and in their first two picks, they took a quarterback and a running back, and not a receiver, which they needed badly.
That was a kind of a three-head move.
Yeah,
It was not smart.
definite smooth brain.
Yep, that is correct.
So that's some of the highlights of the draft. It's been a while. Everybody's fucking talked about the draft, so I don't think we need to delve too much into it.
Yeah.
So let's
Something
go into.
Before
Oh,
we
sorry,
have
what was that, Jesse?
one pick that I forgot the Vikings got. We got Nate Stanley from Iowa in the 7th round. Sure, he'll be like our third string all season, but he's there.
Also,
Yeah.
I feel like the Bills got a steal, and AJ I don't know how to say his name, but he was in the 2nd round, and he was a defensive end from Iowa, and yeah,
Shout out to the Bills picking up Tyler Bass. For
big ass bass,
yeah.
big ass bass, big. Okay.
I can't wait to see. Even though he's a kicker, I can't wait.
He's gonna be our starting kicker because we got rid of what's his dick.
Who's I can't.
I don't
pronounce
know
his
how to
name.
say his name. Words are hard.
He's
Okay.
been, but the dude they did have was there for a couple of years. So I mean,
Yeah.
Is it the Bills or the Browns that had the punter with no chin?
I don't know.
me
But
look
we
it up.
released our punter too. So,
It was one of them. He was like this super scrawny dude with no chin and like a gross ass mustache. I think it was the Brown. Oh no, it was the Bills.
oh
It was
boy.
Corey. No, it's not him. Never mind. Maybe it was the Browns. I'll get back to you on this one.
Yeah, whatever.
No, that's not it. I don't know. Matthew, put it up on screen. Let's move into the other major change of this season. That's the good old Washington football team.
Oh yes, the Washingtons.
He's
So-
that team name in NFL history.
Absolutely.
my question is, do you think they'll change it again?
So part of me thinks like the logical side is like, yeah, they'll come up with an actual team name. But part of me is also like, what if Dan Snyder just says fuck it?
I want Team Chaos. I wanted to.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe like for like this season, they just go, you know what, fuck it.
It just,
Oh yeah, this
Oh, yeah,
season they're
sounds-
just the football team.
Yeah, it
So.
just sounds like a recreational football team. Like
Oh,
going
yeah.
up against
Yep.
like
Yeah, that's what Washington is, though.
Yeah, they are going to be awful this year. Oh, but
yeah.
yeah.
It reminds me a lot of, I think I talked about this before, but when the CFL was expanding into the US and they put a team in Baltimore because the Colts had left and they're like, we're going to call our team the Colts. And the NFL was like, what the fuck are you doing? So for their first season, I shit you not, they were the Baltimore CFL team, also known as the Baltimore CFLers. So,
I had no
CFLers.
yeah. And then they changed their name to the Stallions and then won a Grey Cup. So,
Great.
So it's an improvement over the Redskins. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I like the retro look they're going with the numbers on the helmets. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's a little, that I'll give them that.
Yeah. So I don't blame them for just going with the football
Yeah.
team for this season. So
Yeah, it's good not having a slur as their thing.
It's pretty nice.
so yeah, we'll see what they do next year. But good
Yeah,
on you, Washington.
I'm hoping they go with Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors is like the obvious one. I like Red Tails too.
Red
I
Tail,
think
yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
pretty good.
The obvious change for them to be would be the Warriors and then change to their alternate logo. That's the arrow with the two feathers hanging off of it.
Yeah,
So
that logo is
I would love that. Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of teams changing up their looks, though, we've had a wave of uniform changes this season too, which I'm excited
I think
about.
there was 7 uniform changes.
Yep,
over
there.
those.
I don't know if it was the first chronologically that happened, but probably the least jarring one was the Colts had a new patch to their uniform, changed up their number font, which I really like. I think the Colts did a really good job with theirs. So
Atlanta changed up their things.
yeah, and then the Falcons did.
On the more interesting side of things,
They're, all I gotta say is there's this one jersey that is such an eyesore and such a disgrace to God's earth, and that's the gradient.
Dude,
Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
The thing that cracks me up about the gradient the most is because it's a red to black gradient, and then the pants are black, so it looks like they have their pants hiked up to their fucking belly button.
Yeah, I know. It's so bad. Oh, I hate it so much.
yeah, overall uniforms, get with it.
The other bad one, the LA Rams.
Oh,
Holy shit!
And they had a logo. They had a logo change as well.
The most hilarious thing about the Rams changing their logo is the stadium they're moving into was literally designed to look like their old logo. And then this is the season they move into that stadium, and then they change their logo, so the stadium doesn't look like it anymore.
I was about to break that. That is the fucking stupidest thing ever. And also, their away uniforms, that off-white is just bad.
Oh yeah, the white.
And then there's that gradient on the numbers on their.
On the blue unis, they have the yellow to white.
Oh, it's
and they're so bad.
Gradients on jerseys shouldn't be a thing. There is like
Even
none
Yeah.
that look good.
I can't really think of an objectively good uniform that has a gradient on it.
It is.
What, you don't like the Jaguars mustard yellow and black?
Oh yeah. Nothing reminds me of gold like the fucking Jaguars.
You know what's
Not
the
like
funniest
the
thing about that
49ers
uniform?
or
I
anything.
think
Is-
the worst thing about the off unis is the Los Angeles Rams patch that is normal white.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, I hate that so much.
God.
On the off-white jersey, and it just looks bad. It takes Los Angeles and just make it a jersey, and that's Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Shit, I just lost my train of thought. What I was
Patriots.
going to say, when you were mentioning the Jaguars gradient one, the funniest thing about that uniform is the helmet, fades from matte black to gold. And they said it was to symbolize a jaguar seeping out of the shadows. And it's like, shouldn't it be the other way around then? Because the shadow would be what it's coming out of. So it's going, the gradient's the wrong way. So
God, I hated that.
We'll transition to one of the better uniform changes, the Browns.
Oh yeah, the Browns did a great job with theirs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Really good
I
job.
love the classic Browns uniforms.
Yeah,
It's a popular thing to shit on a brown uniform, but I was like, it works. So
yeah,
I
it's
dig
all
it.
right.
They call the
It
Browns.
surprisingly works considering it's orange, white, and brown.
Mhm.
Like it's weird, but
Yeah, I dig it. I'm
another
glad they
one-
went back to those. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Another one is the Patriots. It's
Yeah,
The color rush.
I have mixed feelings on
Yeah.
the Patriots uniform swap.
They're just kind of lines.
The thing I dislike about it the most is the fact that they changed it. They went to the color rush, which is navy blue with red and white stripes.
Yeah.
But then they wear a silver helmet, and
Yeah,
there's no silver on the entire jersey.
yeah.
So the
I don't
helmet doesn't match. It reminds me a lot of when the 49ers back in the 90s wore those throwbacks with the white pants.
Yeah.
So like the jersey and pants combo is red, black, and white, and they had a metallic gold helmet that didn't match anything.
Yeah,
That's what it reminds me of.
yeah.
So,
Still
Yeah,
like
no-
the 49er jerseys, but
Yeah. And another team that had a plethora of unis is the Chargers. Came
Oh.
out
Yeah.
with a
the Chargers.
quite the lineup.
oh, they're
You-
so good.
The new era of the Chargers.
The Chargers are absolutely beautiful. I
Oh, yeah.
love that so much. There is not a miss on those things.
Oh no, and those navy blue. Oh man,
Ooh.
Yeah, the
Only
Chargers
thing I
did a fantastic job.
Only thing I find a
season.
little weird is like the blue jersey with like the yellow pants, but like that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
I like how like the middle blue, like the just regular blue, is like the Rams one from earlier, but without
Yeah.
the gradient number.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's just
It
so
is
good.
funny that both LA teams are now blue and yellow playing in the same stadium. It's
Yeah.
going to look like an inter squad match when they play.
Yeah,
each
your
other.
fans are gonna show up and like, am I at the right game?
Yeah. And it'll actually look like the Chargers have fans now, though, when all the Rams fans show up.
Aw.
And I say that as
Sure, we can
Grant.
get the
Yeah.
Chargers from San Diego.
And then finally, the Buccaneers pulled a Browns and went back to their old uniform designs. And I'm a big fan of those too.
Thank
Yeah.
God, man.
They're a lot better.
I love those 2000s Bucks with the pewter
Yeah.
helmet and pants. The only thing that bums me out about it is Nike, for some reason, is unable to make pants that have like a reflective metallic finish on them. So their pants
Mhm.
just look gray
Yeah.
when they should be pewter.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's better than the digital font that they use on
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
it looks like a fucking clock here.
They
Why?
always said it was supposed to look like a sword, but it just ended up looking like an alarm
What
clock.
type of fucking
A sword?
sword? What?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I'm looking at it right now, and how the fuck?
Hmm.
I don't see it. I see a digital clock.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. All right. My brain hurts from that.
So yeah, that's the roundup on the uniforms. The Browns, Bucks, and Chargers nailed it. The and the Colts. Forgot about them for a second.
Everyone else-
Patriots, and then the Rams and Falcons. Big thumbs down.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2 thumbs down for those.
So that's that. I want to do a little round table though, since we hinted at this before. Let's talk about what we think of our teams going into this season. We didn't really touch on coaching changes or anything like that, but we'll keep it basically restricted to what our teams are doing. So we'll start with Garrett. What do you think about the Jaguars this year?
You put the worst for first. So in this scenario, we touched a lot on this earlier, but they gave away 2 great defensive players, and they did try to make up for it in the draft with C.J. Henderson being their cornerback pick in the first round. They also got a linebacker in the first round, which they had a solid draft. So I'm interested to see how those rookies do. But we have a big question mark at quarterback with Gardner Minshew. He has that Minshew magic, but we have a rough schedule this year. I could see them going as bad as 1-15 and as good as 6-10. I mean, as a Jaguars fan, you can only hope for so much. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot going for the Jaguars going into this season. But one of the things that we'll have to look at for the Jaguars is their coaching situation with Doug Marrone. This will be really the make or break season for him, I believe, to see if he gets to keep his job.
Yeah, Doug Marrone is a bizarre case because he took over for I can't even remember the name of the guy he replaced at the moment, and like immediately turned that team around. Because I remember in 2016, everybody's saying they're like, if this Jaguars defense can turn around, like they can be a good team. And then they put together like one of the best single season defenses we've ever seen. And everybody was like, holy shit, Doug Marrone, he's awesome, he's doing it. And then literally within a year, everybody hated him and wanted him fired.
Yeah, I'll give him credit. He turned around a team and gave them their best record in 10 years and won the division and almost beat the Patriots in the conference game. So, and almost went to the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles, as we said earlier.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely Marrone's got to figure things out this season, and he's going to get the boot.
Yep, now that Tom Coughlin's gone, he's basically...
Oh yeah, and that's why
it's
they're
like,
giving him this opportunity.
if you're still not winning, you're clearly the common denominator in all of this. That said, I love Gardner Minshew. That was a hell of a find. I don't think anybody predicted him to come out of nowhere and immediately be a starter caliber quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, even despite how bad the Jaguars were for stretches of last year, like Gardner Minshew had a legit good season.
Yeah, he was the one that won all. I think he won all 6 games that they had.
I think so. Yeah.
column.
I don't think Nick
Because
Foles won a single start.
Foles didn't win the first week because obviously the injury, and when he came back, he's the reason why the Jaguars had gave up the most points in a 5-game stretch last season. Is because when he came back, they brought him back too quickly, and he gave up a lot of unfortunate plays. So
Yep.
So, not looking great for them. But let's go to Jesse with a playoff team last season. What are you thinking about the Vikings this year?
I feel we'll probably again be a wild card team like we have been the past few years. Well, except for 2018. Kirk has been doing good for us. It's not the greatest quarterback in the league, anywhere near it. We need to drop him soon before we tank, but I think we'll have a good season. I can see us being a wild card, maybe 9-7, 10-6. That's about it, though. I don't see us doing anything else.
Yeah, that seems realistic because they've shed a lot of defensive talent during the off season, and I just don't really know what to think of them. And it's like, I'm glad Kirk Cousins was able to kind of go on a playoff run last season and prove some people wrong, but I was like, I just don't know if Kirk Cousins is the answer.
Yeah, especially after 2017, what Case did for us, and then just immediately turning around and dropping him for Kirk was not a smart decision.
Yeah.
But we do have Zimmer again, which I love Mike Zimmer. One of our best coaches in a while, I'd say.
Zimmer's a great coach. I like him a lot. He's one of those dudes that was brought up through the Cowboys system that they missed out on, and I'm bummed out about. So,
yeah. And
Jack, what do you think? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We have a weirdly tough schedule with the AFC South and the NFC West. I believe.
Yeah, that one's kind of tricky.
Because the NFC West is stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, Jack, what do you think about the Bills coming into the season?
Bills are going to be solid. Bills are going to be a good team. I think we're going to win our division.
Bold.
Have we done? We got Diggs, as we talked about. We needed that a lot because all of our receivers were dropping shit. Bricks for hands. Our schedule, we have to face the 49ers and Cardinals. And the Seahawks, which is going to be pretty difficult, I'd say. But other than that, it's a relatively okay schedule. I think we're gonna sweep the Jets and the Dolphins, and then lose one to the Patriots. And I think we're gonna finish like 12 wins.
I think I had exactly what you said for the Bills this season was a sweep against them and then 1-1 against the Pats.
Yeah, I think. What was I gonna say? The only issues I think is here is Josh Allen's accuracy, which is, was kind of a big deal last season, but I think he's worked on it a lot over that off season, and he's done a bit of improvement. So I think he's going to be extremely good this year.
Yeah.
And our offensive coach is kind of a mongoloid, but yeah, it's the best way to put it.
I expect good things out of the Bills this season.
Yeah.
They should at least win a playoff game.
Yep, I'm hoping on that.
So, and like we were saying about Josh Allen, like he's inaccurate sometimes, but he does enough good things to offset that. So
also, we have a big ass Bass.
Yeah, and
so that's going to be a great cooker.
Not to mention that
Man, I hope he cooks.
solid
Yeah.
defense.
Oh yeah, of course. The defense. I don't even need to talk about it because of how good it is.
The Bills' defense is really interesting because they're not flashy or anything. They're just so, just well built, just traditionally stingy good defense.
Yeah,
So,
it's.
they're just a well-oiled machine when on defense.
If we get that offense kicking, it's gonna be, oof.
Yeah, if they can consistently score more than 20 points a game, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
True.
All right. So we're expecting good things from the Bills, and now let's transition to my team. So
tell us about your team.
Yeah, the Cowboys. First off, I want to mention that I'm a Cowboys fan because my dad indoctrinated me as a kid. I'd say I probably root for the Browns more because I'm stupid, but the Cowboys, through and through, are the team that I just instinctively root for. I think Dak Prescott's good. I don't know if he's great, but I think he has all of the talent that he needs to be a good quarterback.
I shit on Dak a lot because I like fucking with Cowboys fans, but he's not terrible. He's a good quarterback.
Dak is just
quarterbacks.
He's getting what Tony Romo got during the because now that Tony Romo's retired, everybody looks at him and goes, he's a future Hall of Famer, and he was fucking great. And he was. The problem was he was the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. He was the quarterback he was the face of the biggest team in America.
Yeah.
So you're going to be held up to those standards.
Well, that team, and he didn't really make it to the playoffs all that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He spent his career playing with a horrible defense, and then every time they got to the playoffs, it was usually because they actually had a good running game for once.
Yeah.
Romo balled the fuck out a lot of the time, but I miss Tony Romo. To get on a quick tangent, when Romo got replaced, I was hoping he would go to the Broncos or something, because Romo with that Super Bowl winning Broncos defense on the other side, they would have been fucking unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
So, but everybody shits on him, but there's 20 teams in the league that would love to have Dak Prescott on their team. You've got Ezekiel Elliott, who's one of the best running backs in the league. You have a pretty damn good receiver core with Amari Cooper leading the way. I still miss Cole Beasley. Yeah. And then you have, on paper, a really good defense, too. Yeah. And you have a Super Bowl winning coach in Mike McCarthy.
If they don't win it...
I said it before we started filming. If the Cowboys are not a first-round bye, it's a disappointing season.
If the Cowboys do not get to the NFC Championship this year, it's a disappointment.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
There's no reason why they shouldn't. Because you look at the Eagles are a really well-coached, good team, but they have injury problems.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz and the receiving core cannot stay healthy. The Giants are
painted glass.
Yeah, the Giants are a clown show, and Washington is a tire fire. There's no reason the Cowboys shouldn't win the division. There really isn't. There's no reason they shouldn't win 11 or 12 games. There's no reason they shouldn't have a first-round bye, and there's no reason they shouldn't be in the NFC Championship. It's just that simple. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Like the Cowboys, they better be in an NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Yep. And to kind of alley-oop off that, a team that I know I'm at least interested in, I don't know if anybody else is, but if we're going to talk about the Browns, let's sweep 2019 under the rug and just forget about it. Because the thing that gets lost in all that is it's still an improvement over where they've been.
True.
So,
We don't want to take it like the 2019 offseason though, where we overhyped it.
Oh
Let's
no,
just say
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm not. All I'm expecting out of the Browns is 9 wins. That's all. Because when you've got Baker Mayfield, you've got Odell Beckham Jr., you've got Jarvis Landry, you've got Austin Hooper, you've got Nick Chubb, you've got Kareem Hunt, and you have Myles Garrett's coming back. You've got Larry Ogunjobi. You've got Denzel Ward, who's an awesome corner. That's a stacked team. They had problems with injuries last year on their defense. They had major problems with offensive execution.
Some problems with helmet smashing, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. Myles Garrett tried to kill somebody.
Yeah.
So, and Baker's not free from the criticism. I don't blame him entirely for it. He didn't play well. He threw the ball to the wrong team a lot, but he also had a coach and an offense that was not structured around their strengths.
Yep.
Baker's really accurate in quick, short passing throws. He's, just put the dude in a system that works because he does. It's a lot like Josh Allen. He does enough good things to offset his faults as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, because that team fucking will go to fucking war for Baker Mayfield, just like the Bills will fucking die on whatever hill they are defending Josh Allen.
Yes, sir.
So, you have your franchise quarterback for the first time since Bernie Kosar. Don't fucking waste it.
Oh, man. All right.
So yeah, so that's individual teams. We all filled out before like a month or two ago the playoff predictor. Like I said, this was before Cam Newton joined the Patriots, so some of these predictions you might have to take with a grain of salt. Do you guys have yours open?
I gotta log into my account. I don't
Okay.
remember mine.
I think you just if you
Well, we've got all the links we have the channel for them in here. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, since
Are we just gonna talk about playoffs?
since
Or...
I was just gonna go division by division. We can
Okay.
read
yeah, and then
I
it,
opened up my playoff predictor, it kind of randomizes the link.
does it?
well, you just if you just have the grid,
I have my playoff grid still.
I mean, just base it off of that.
Yeah,
Well, there should be a link at the bottom of the playoff grid that says view full
It doesn't
standings.
work.
It doesn't
it
work.
doesn't work.
No.
Really? Mine works.
Yeah,
That's weird.
It loads up a different one for
Yeah,
me.
it freaks the fuck
Yeah,
out.
I ended up with the
It's
Browns
like-
and the Giants, so apparently
Maybe-
that's not
maybe
Yeah. I got the Jets winning the Super Bowl somehow.
it was Vikings in my random one, but
I guess mine's the only one that worked. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just go through mine and then we'll talk about our playoff predictions.
because we're not logged in.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we got the grids, but I mean like for the playoffs.
Okay. Well, I'll just go through my standings and then we can talk about the playoffs. So, for what I predicted, I had in the AFC North, I had the Ravens at 12-4, Steelers at 10-6, Browns at 9-7, and even though they got Joe Burrow, the Bengals at 4-12. I think there's too many holes in that team for them to overcome that. In the South, I had the Titans at 12-4, and the Colts at 11-5, the Texans falling to 8-8, and Garrett, your Jacksonville Jaguars at 3-13.
Hey.
In the AFC East, again, take this with a grain of salt. I had the Bills at 11-5, Patriots at 7-9, the Dolphins at 5-10-1, and the Jets at 5-11.
I would say that 7-9 was before Cam Newton was.
Yeah, you can tack on like 3 or 4 extra wins onto that at minimum.
Yeah.
And then in the AFC West, I had the Chiefs at 13-3, the Raiders at 8-8, the Chargers at 5-11, and the Broncos at 4-12. And what's funny about this is I don't even think the Chargers or Broncos are that bad. But when I was filling out the chart, I was like, you go game by game, and then halfway through, I was like, why are the Chargers like 1-8?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that happened with a few teams where they ended up being worse than I thought they were going to be. So yeah. In the NFC North, I have the Vikings at 10-6, the Packers at 9-7, the Detroit Lions at 7-9, and the Bears at 5-11. In the South, I had the Bucks at 12-4, the Saints at 12-4, Panthers at 6-10, and the Falcons at 3-13. In the NFC East, because I'm a realist, I had the Cowboys at 10-6. The Eagles at 9-7, the Giants at 3-13, and this was mostly out of spite, but Washington at 0-16.
Oh, I had the same for Washington.
I think we all did, to be honest.
That team is going to be absolutely awful.
Yeah.
We all
You
know.
gotta put them in
I,
there
I,
are like
I feel like in my grid, I gave them the benefit of the doubt for
What
one.
did you give him? Like what? You gave him
I
one.
think because I feel like with them and the Giants, it always comes down to like a 42 to 41 game,
Oh, yeah.
and those games get like out of hand
Ugly.
scoring wise. So yeah, I feel like they might get one
Yeah.
there, but besides that, no.
Fuck, I gotta get my pizza real quick. I'll be right back. It's
oh,
pizza time.
Jack.
I literally have one division to go. Well, while he's doing that, to round it off, I have the 49ers at 14-2, Seahawks at 12-4, Rams at 9-7, and the Cardinals at 7-8-1. So yes,
Okay.
I predicted a Cardinals-Dolphins tie. So
I think the shocking part about that one in the with the West is I'm shocked the Rams aren't the lowest, and I'm shocked the Cardinals aren't higher.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like in my head, I think they're better, but on paper, like when I do them week by week, I'm just like, no, they'll probably lose this one and that one. Oh no, they'll win. Oh, they're gonna lose that one again.
Alright,
And
I
it
got
came out
pizza.
like that.
If
So.
they play their division rivals, it's like Niners and Seahawks are so damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, is there's a lot of really good teams at the top of the NFC. So, and then that ended up with my playoff teams being, let me bring up that real quick. The seeding in the division winners and the AFC, you had the Chiefs will be the number 1 seed, the Titans the number 2 seed, Ravens number 3, and Bills number 4, with the Colts, Steelers, and Browns taking the 3 wildcard spots, with the Texans, Patriots, and Raiders just barely missing out. And then in the NFC, I had the 49ers as the number 1 seed, Bucks at number 2, winning that tiebreaker with the Saints. Then you had the Vikings at number 3, Cowboys at 4, and then your 3 wildcard teams being the Saints, the Seahawks, and the Eagles. And then playoff grid wise ended up being, I'll skip the first couple rounds. The AFC title game, Chiefs, Ravens. And then the NFC title game, Saints, 49ers, and pretty much all the playoff games I just decided with coin flips because I really couldn't pick. So I ended up with the Ravens being AFC champions, 49ers being NFC champions. We get a 2012 rematch, but the Ravens come out on top again. So.
Oh, all right.
So yeah. What were you guys'
fan?
playoff picks?
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess since I'm already talking, I'll go with. I had with the AFC, I had the Chiefs number 1 seed. I think we all do. The Ravens number 2, Titans number 3, Dolphins number 4.
Oh,
And the wildcard teams being the Steelers, Colts, and Chargers.
yeah, the Dolphins winning the AFC East.
I sure did.
That was a
This was-
Wow,
spicy
that is
pick.
bold.
this was
That
before
is
Cam
bold.
Newton, so
Oh,
Yeah.
I think they won the division at like 9-7. But with the NFC, I have the Saints at number 1, Seahawks number 2, Cowboys number 3, Vikings were number 4. That might be a little biased. And then the wildcard teams being the 49ers, the Packers, and the Cardinals.
I can see that.
The AFC title game would be the Chiefs-Ravens again, with the NFC title game being my worst nightmare, the Vikings Saints. Being Chiefs Saints, with the Saints coming out on top.
There you go. I can see that happening.
all right. I'll go next. For me, I have the Chiefs as number 1, Ravens as number 2, the Bills as 3, Titans 4, Browns as 5, Texans 6, and Raiders 7. For the NFC, I have the 49ers first, Saints second, Vikings third, Eagles fourth, Seahawks fifth, Buccaneers sixth, and the Cowboys seventh. For round 1 of the AFC thing, I have the Browns beating the Titans. I have the Raiders losing to the Ravens. Texans losing to the Bills. I have the Chiefs beating the Browns in the second round, or the non, whatever the fuck it is.
Divisional round.
Yeah, divisional. Ravens lose to the Bills.
Ooh.
The divisional. And then I have the Chiefs versus the Bills. And Chiefs beat them, and then Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. I have the Cowboys versus the Saints in the first round. Saints beat them. Vikings versus Bucks. Vikings beat them. Seahawks versus the Eagles. Seahawks beat them. Saints beat the Vikings. 49ers beat the Seahawks. And then Saints beat the 49ers. And then I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Another
Yeah,
Chiefs.
I think we had the exact same NFC teams in our brackets,
Oh.
just in different orders.
Huh.
Did you have the Packers in?
No, I didn't have the Packers.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I think we did have the same.
I don't
order.
have faith in the Packers.
Yeah. After their off
Unfortunately, I
season, I
do.
don't have faith in them either.
Yeah.
And to wrap it out, or wrap us up, Garrett, what's your playoff grid look like?
All right, so my AFC is going to look like most years, so we're going to start off with that. I think the Chiefs will obviously win the West and take the 1 seed. The Ravens, they'll win their division, take the 2 seed. I think the Bills are going to get the North and the 3rd seed, and I think the Titans will win the South as the 4th seed. My 3 wild cards being, in order, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Raiders. And the 2 that make it to the conference game is the Chiefs and Ravens, obviously, and then the Ravens advancing to the Super Bowl, getting their shot. Here is where things get trippy on my end of the bracket, the NFC.
It's spicy.
So for my 1 seed, I have the Saints winning their division. No surprise there. Seahawks at the 2 seed. No surprise there. The Cowboys are going to somehow get things together and make their way to the 3 seed.
I
Packers
appreciate
are
the
going
faith.
have a little faith, but I mean, they'll
Yeah.
get it. Packers will win their division and be the 4th seed. Now, here's where it gets a little trippy. My wild cards in order are the Rams, the Eagles, and the Buccaneers.
Those are all very bold.
Wow. Okay.
The Rams.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Rams is a wild
Rams.
card because I believe that division will get really crazy and you're going to have a lot of close games. I feel like the Rams are just going to be right there at like 9-7 and are going to take it.
I think the shocking part is no Niners on that one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the thing that
that's,
immediately
that's-
jumped out to me.
Yeah, the Niners are not on my playoff grid.
Okay.
I feel like they find a way to lose games against the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and then that's 4 games by itself. Lose one of the Rams, and then you got other people on the schedule they definitely can lose games to as well, like the Ravens. So,
Yeah, that
so go
this game, yeah.
yeah. So going to the conference game, it's Cowboys and the Packers were my 2 picks. I think the Saints will find a way to lose their first playoff game as always. So to be Cowboys Packers, and I think the Cowboys with the coach from the old coach from the Packers will advance to the Super Bowl, and I think the Ravens will come out on top in the Super Bowl versus the Cowboys.
All
It's an
right.
interesting matchup.
Wow.
That's a lot to take in.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
Cowboys, Packers.
That is really bold.
That's a lot of faith in both of those teams.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
that's
lot
the
of faith.
thing. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen. in
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
I don't.
We're
see
talking about
it.
playoffs.
I like the Cowboys there. The
The
Packers.
Cowboys have a lot of potential. I feel
yeah.
like that. In my bracket, I have them going against the Seahawks to advance to the conference game. And I feel like the Seahawks, they always have some way to get injuries onto their lineup, and they're going to lose a couple players, some key ones.
Just like, I mean, so we didn't talk. I didn't mention my divisional round. Mine were Vikings, Packers, Cardinals, Saints. So Seahawks, Cowboys, Niners are all gone, which are some pretty big. Because I feel like the Cardinals Seahawks would be a very good divisional round, a divisional rivalry team game. And then Vikings, Niners, redemption for last year, them beating us in the divisional round.
Oh yeah.
Packers beating the Cowboys, I feel like that would be the game the Cowboys just choke because it's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah,
valid.
I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like the 49ers will be the Patriots of last season, where they're going to be really their defense is going to be the key of their team.
Yeah.
And-
Well, that and also losing a Super Bowl does things
Yeah.
to your players psychologically. So, and we've seen how teams like the Falcons and the Falcons, Panthers, and Seahawks, all 3 of them look primed to become dynasties. They lose a Super Bowl, and then none of them have been close
Yeah.
since.
True. That's a good point. Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's like, I have confidence that the 49ers are good enough to make it back, but how haunted is Kyle Shanahan going to be by that?
That's true.
The fact
I mean,
that he's
talked
basically
about it.
blown a second Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be. I don't think it is as bad as 28-3 though.
Oh yeah,
I think
no, it
Shanahan
wasn't as
will
bad as that.
bounce back.
The thing I'm really looking forward to though is I'm planning. The plan is we'll do this every week and we'll do like our weekly picks or whatever, and I'll keep track of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing how our weekly picks change week by week. So it's like, oh yeah, I've picked the 49ers to win 14 games, but I'm like, what happens if we get to week 5 and they're off to a slow start? And I'm like, actually, yeah, they're gonna go like 8-8.
What happens if you get to week 5 and maybe you're injured?
Yeah, it'll be funny to compare how I picked every week versus how I picked in preseason.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you lose big players early on, like we saw last year, we could change the whole perspective of a team.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you could lose like Patrick Mahomes from the like he had injuries this season.
Yeah.
You could lose big players like that early on in a season. That could shape up things to be very interesting for certain divisions. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if Mahomes gets hurt, that entire division opens up.
Like us, we all picked the Saints to be pretty damn good next year.
Yeah.
It's can immediately just go and get injured in week 1.
Yeah. So
We should
anything
have.
could change. It's going to be a weird season, and I think the other thing that's going to be really interesting to watch is because there's only one team that gets a first round bye now. The late season games are going to matter even more now.
Oh yeah.
We should talk about who will be the MVP this season.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I have my pick already. It's gonna be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I was going with that. I was going with Mahomes this season.
It's hard to go against Mahomes.
Yeah.
Do you want me to throw a wild card in there?
Go for it.
Throw a
We've
wild
talked
card.
about him a couple times.
Go for it.
Yeah, I don't have this team on my playoff grid, so this will go against what I've had
Okay.
set in stone so far. I've talked about second years. Kyler Murray breaks out in his second year because we talked about his receiving core earlier. He's got some potential, and we saw how Lamar broke out in his second year and made things happen because the first year was kind of iffy with how he was brought on as Flacco came off. So, but I really think that Murray could have a shot if he can get things together.
I could honestly see that.
I agree
think
with that.
he's a very solid quarterback. He's a very good quarterback.
Kind of
it'll
want to
be-
pick a defensive player just to be contrarian, but I'm trying to think of who I'd
Pick
pick.
Nick Bosa or somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Bosa.
Oh, I
I
didn't
think
think
it'll be a good battle. I'll let Matt think for a minute. I think it'll be a good battle between, like you said, Kyler Murray, Mahomes, and then Lamar Jackson. I feel like that'd be a good
Mhm.
to fight for the MVP.
And then Russell Wilson will always find his
Yeah,
way.
then of course you have Russell Wilson, guys like Rodgers, Brady
Yeah.
there.
So I've got 3 dudes because you mentioned them. Nick Bosa, that's a good prediction. This is one that I think will be that could be a major breakout star. But again, I don't actually expect any of these 3. I'm just doing this to be contrarian. Shaq Barrett, the defensive tackle or the defensive end for the Buccaneers, who led the league in sacks last season. Imagine how much more impactful he's going to be if he doesn't have to, if he's not sacking the quarterback and forcing a punt and then immediately having going back out there because his quarterback's not throwing an interception.
Yeah.
But this is probably the most off the wall one. Myles Garrett.
That's if he doesn't bash someone in the head.
If Myles Garrett doesn't try to kill somebody, I don't
If
see
you
how he
keep,
can't.
if you keep
This
his
time,
temper-
no. This time he's gonna get suspended for taking off his shoe and just beating someone with it.
That's true. Yeah, he's gonna try to slit
Yeah.
somebody's throat with his.
You think a
cleat.
shoe's worse than the helmet?
No, he's
No,
gonna
no,
try to
no.
slit somebody's throat with a cleat.
Oh, that's smart.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I think the only thing holding that back is like MVP is a popularity contest, and I don't think Myles Garrett's very popular with the players of the NFL right now. So, but I mean,
I don't know many of the. I don't really know many of the rookies except for the obvious like big namers. Who wins Rookie of the Year in each conference? Offensive, obviously. I'm not going to go.
offensively, I think it's between Burrow and Tua.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
What about if we take the non-quarterbacks out of the situation? Is there anybody, or take the quarterbacks out of the situation? Would there be anybody, running back or defense, anybody that could be?
I mean, depending on how Kirk does, Justin Jefferson could be up there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Because one of the people I got an eye on is Cam Akers for the Rams, which is one of the reasons why I have the Rams on my board. Is they are going to probably put him in a role that's going to be similar to what Todd Gurley was, and Gurley went off in his first couple seasons until he fell off last season.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, Akers could have a chance to shine there with the Rams. I mean,
I guess mine would be, if we're going on quarterback, since he's paired up with a really good young quarterback in Drew Lock, Judge Jerry Jeudy. I think he could have a really good rookie season at receiver. So
Yeah.
And I just like his name.
yeah,
I think I'm gonna go with CD Lamb.
yeah, I was just about to.
CD
Lamb's
Lamb.
a good one.
Yeah.
He's going to be the DK Metcalf of this season. He's gonna.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be pretty good. So
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we have anything else to say, you guys?
Nah.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap on.
I think
Oh, my
thing-
pizza was good.
I think the only thing I really have to say is this is a personal opinion. Fuck the Packers.
Yeah, fuck the Packers.
Yeah.
So,
fuck the Washingtons.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what's weird is like I didn't even hate the Packers growing up. Like I was like, oh yeah, they're one of like the old school cool teams. But like as I've gotten to know you guys better, I'm like Aaron Rodgers is kind of a douche.
Yeah.
I've kind of grown to not like him thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
So-
Fucking goddamn cheeseheads. Goddamn.
Part of me has to like him because my mom's family's from Wisconsin. But yeah,
No.
so anyway,
Wisconsin.
The fuck
There's
is
a lot of
Wisconsin?
cheese and water parks. That's all they've got. Cheese and water parks.
Wisconsin even exist?
You got cheese and beer. That's all I got.
Cheese and water parks.
I've never seen anyone from Wisconsin. I think it's bullshit.
It's
Honestly.
like Wyoming. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
I've literally been to both states.
You're just
Wisconsin,
fucking brainwashed. You're brainwashed by the
No.
fucking government.
Bunch of liberal propaganda.
You
They call
fucking
it-
you
They call it
sheeple.
Wisconsin because it's actually just the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. They
What the
just
fuck are you talking about?
You might have a point. Maybe I just went to Michigan instead.
Yeah, that's actually true.
exactly.
So
Yeah. Also, why the fuck does Michigan have two like islands or two
Yeah,
parts
why?
of it? That is bullshit.
Why
That
is
is
it
not fair.
connected to Wisconsin, but it's
it's
still
not
Michigan?
fair.
It's not fair. Why don't you just like
They're both in the U.S. Does it matter?
no?
Canada.
Because it's like
Canada.
cut off. Just give it to fucking Canada.
Michigan too.
Just make it part of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin doesn't exist.
Oh, that's right.
Neither does Wyoming.
Make
but
God,
continue.
the
Canada.
Michigan Peninsula Wisconsin.
Shit,
go.
we just need to cut out like all of that bit and just make it water.
Wisconsin
The
too.
Great Lakes just got a whole lot more
Yeah,
great.
it just got a bit bigger.
A whole greater.
Oh, we went on a tangent to end this.
We did.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good way to end the show.
yeah.
So too.
This has
Alright.
been the first episode of Oofsides. God, that's a stupid name.
It works so well though.
It's so perfect, but it's so
there
stupid.
should be a segment we do at the beginning of every episode, like when the season starts, of like when there's a neutral zone infraction.
Oh,
Oofside. Yeah, I'll just get Ed Hockley, but I'll like calling a penalty, but I'll change it up so he's like
No, it's everybody but the
Oofsides.
center penalties.
everybody with the center.
There you go.
all right.
Anyway,
That'll wrap it
this has been a good episode. Do you guys have any social media or anything you want to plug before we go?
up. Them ways on Twitter.
All right,
Um,
good one, Jesse. How about you, Garrett?
Dalton JJ9 on Twitter.
All right.
Him too. I could be wrong.
I honestly don't remember my Twitter handle because it has probably an underdash or whatever you call it in there. So
I'll put it on the screen somewhere.
Yeah,
Pretty sure-
here, Matt,
pretty
post
sure
it up
you're
here
boy.
for me.
Don't
Matthew,
follow
if you're only if this is an audio version one, insert in Garrett's Twitter handle now.
Right here.
I'm pretty sure DirtBoy16.
All right. Cool.
Nah, it's not that, but you're close.
All right.
And you can find me on Twitter at msteelman51. I'm Matthew Steelman here with Garrett Sidnor, Jesse Dalton, and Jack Themways Healy. We'll see you
Yes.
next time. Guys,
Yeah, we did it.
we podcasted.
We did a pod.
Yeah,
We performed
did it.
podcast.
What was I gonna say?